And joining us now on the Granite City School District Alumni Spotlight, coming to us from Phoenix, Arizona, is Jessica Mefford-Miller. Jessica, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Look forward to speaking with you and talking a little bit about your career. Now, recently, you were just named a few months ago the CEO of Valley Metro Regional Public Transportation Authority in Phoenix after a long stint here in St. Louis. So talk to us a little bit about the new job and how exciting it is for you.
Sure. Well, you know what? I am loving my new role, and it is, I think, a really natural progression for my career for me. I have been working in transportation for about the last 20 years since I finished my undergraduate degree from Southern Illinois University, where I went after graduating from GCHS in 1998. And I love working in transportation. I worked for the National Park Service early on in my career in Texas. I later moved to Ohio, where I pursued my PhD at The Ohio State University, and I worked for the Department of Transportation there. But I really love working on complicated problems that involve the interaction between people and places, really. And a natural path that my career took was working in public transit. Public transit is such a great connector to opportunity for people across the world. And it's so important for creating really thriving, socially, environmentally, and economically sustainable regions. And I joined the team at Metro in St. Louis in 2006. And I thought it would be just for a little while. I was craving something different in my career at that point. I had spent a long time in academia and I wanted to work in practice. And very early on in that role, I found that I loved to work in a role where I could really see directly the impact of the work that we did on people. We were helping people every single day, and I became very passionate about that. And then I had the opportunity to really dig in deep and learn more and become involved with the operations team and large capital and construction projects there. And I found that was just an excellent fit for me. And I was pleased to lead Metro Transit in St. Louis as their executive director for about 3.5 years until I pursued the role here at Valley Metro in Phoenix. And so it feels great. I love being part of a really vibrant and fast growing city. Maricopa County, where I live here in Phoenix, is consistently the fastest growing county in the United States, and delivering excellent public transit service and building a rapidly expanding transit system is a career goal. So this really is my dream job, Chris, and I'm happy to be here.
That's great. Thank you very much for sharing that. Now, let's talk a little bit about your time in St. Louis. You helped oversee an expansion to the 46-mile light rail system that you were just discussing. Many of us, including myself, rode transit many, many years in my previous job at WashU. I want to talk a little bit about the expansion in Phoenix. I read that you're going up to 50 miles by 2030. Can you just talk briefly a little bit about how does a process like that happen and what's your role in that?
Well, like the development of most cities, especially the big, bold kind of development that's happening here in Phoenix, it really requires a community and leaders that come together and have a forward vision for how they want their city to grow and develop. And so I'm here really standing on the shoulders of the leaders that have come before me decades ago that laid the framework for things like funding and the plans for the expansion that we're building right now. So with my arrival here, what we're doing is expanding the system. In fact, I'm here in downtown Phoenix, and if you walk out the door of my office in both directions, the streets are a little bit torn up because we're laying new light rail track everywhere. We are expanding right now south and central into the city of Phoenix with our light rail system. We're also expanding at the same time, separate project, north and west. And tomorrow on May 30th, we're opening our first streetcar line, which is in Tempe. So we're moving forward with multiple projects all at the same time in different directions across the greater Phoenix region to really build the transit system that is going to move Phoenix today and tomorrow. As I said, it's a very fast growing region. It's a city where we have lower density density suburban communities. We've got a very dense and very thriving urban core here. And we need transit to move people because we just can't move enough people fast enough in single occupancy automobiles. So it's a complicated program of striking a balance between delivering excellent quality service to people every day while we are expanding this big system. So very exciting. No 2 days for me and my team are the same. A lot of big challenges, but they are just the kinds of problems that I like to solve.
So let's take it back a few years. What do you remember most about growing up in Granite City?
I think growing up in Granite, some of the things that I have learned very much inform my disposition and how I approach my work. I am a servant leader. I support my team, but I do what I do, whether that's, building multi-billion-dollar rail system projects or making sure that our buses show up on time and get people to work on time every single day. It really is about people. And I found Granite City to be a place where people work hard, they work together, and they help one another, whether that was growing up in school or playing sports or in the church. It's a place where people care about each other. And that has certainly informed my entire career. And part of my leadership style, my platform as a leader here at Valley Metro is that we exist to serve the cities and communities across Phoenix and those customers that we carry each and every day.
So it sounds like you were a very busy young woman growing up in Granite City, class of 1998. I'm class of 1995, so a few years older than you. You played volleyball, soccer, you were on the debate team, National Honor Society, science club. So very, very active. Has that kind of always been your thing to kind of be active and busy?
Yeah, yeah. I think always, I'm always looking to try new things and to learn and grow. And I hope, each day that I breathe, I'm continuing to learn and grow and challenge myself, whether that is in my career or, striving for a personal best with like a workout or a run or something. I am about continuous growth and development and doing things that I enjoy. And so, I was a soccer player. It's been 25 years or so. Now I'm a soccer mom. I have 3 daughters, actually. So I'm in a little bit different life stage, and I'm really enjoying watching them grow up and encouraging them to get involved in the things that interest them most. And I think that's important because you never know when you're going to encounter something that might strike an interest or where you just build skill. Being on the debate team was incredibly helpful for learning to solve problems, to look at problems from different perspectives, and also to learning to speak in public, which is something that I do often.
So you spent 16 years working at Metro Transit St. Louis, and you mentioned the last about 3.5 as executive director. How hard was that? How hard was that to leave a place that you had spent, a majority of your career?
Gosh, the team, the people at Metro who worked there, and then also the customers that we served and the partners that I met. It was difficult to leave them, and a piece of my heart will always be there. But as a leader, one of the things that I did, and I think that this is the responsibility of all leaders at this level, was I built a strong team behind me. And so I knew that there were people who were positioned, equipped, who had the skills and the knowledge to succeed me once I left. And I think that's super important because we're all one person and we can all accomplish certain things, but leaders can accomplish so more when they develop and empower the people around them. So I'm very proud of the team that's behind me back there in St. Louis leading Metro today.
So last question I have for you, Jessica, is if you had an opportunity to speak to a student, male, female, or students at Granite City High School who are aspiring to be a leader and innovator like yourself, or maybe even a CEO someday, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to reach, to try different things, discover your interests. And it's okay if you try something, whether that's a class or a job or a program in college, and you decide it doesn't work for you, then pivot and make an adjustment. But ask for opportunity in the workplace, look for that. And when there's an opportunity there, seize it. I think this approach has taken me far in my career. When I finished my undergrad, for instance, at SIUE, I was looking for an internship there in St. Louis. I knew I was going to Texas for my master's. I couldn't find anything. And there was a job that came open in the National Park Service in Texas. And they said, but we really need somebody to start in a week. And I said, okay, I'll pack up. I'll be there in 3 days. And that turned into a job that I cherished and it informed the rest of my career. So I have always reached out and asked for more opportunity and taken the time to grow and expand my skill set. So I would say we're constantly a work in progress, whether you're a current GCHS student or you're in the middle of your career or late in life. Look for opportunities to grow. Where you don't see those opportunities, make them.
Well, Jessica Mefford-Miller, I want to thank you very much for taking some time out to talk a little bit about your career and share some advice for some of our GCHS students or possibly some of our alums in the class of 2022.
It's my pleasure, Chris. I always will have fond memories of my time growing up in Granite City.
Thank you very much.